Well, I hope this works. Hey, everybody, who's here? Can you see me? And can you see everything? Doing something different tonight, and I hope it works. Oh, my goodness. Okay, that cord needs to get out of the way. Oh, still in the way. Hey, everybody. Are you guys ready? Shad, it's good to see you. Susan and Jeannie and Gabby and Sally and Wendy. Oh, happy birthday, Wendy. That's awesome. Look, y'all, it's Wendy's birthday. Happy birthday to you. That's all you get. And Adele is watching in the background. So, hello, Maureen. So, what I do want to say, first of all, is hello, Terry. This one's for you. My friend Terry is the one who got me started on this. I had this idea going for a while now, but he is the one who decided, who put forth a little bit of stuff in my head and said, "Would you please do this topic?" And I said, "Yep, I can do that." So let me show you guys my knitting, what I'm working on over here. Can y'all see my hands and everything? This will be my next color. I'm working on my, oh, come on. Work with me here. My cord keeps getting in the way. Okay, thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. So this bag is the one I got from Fancy Boy Designs. He's perfect for February, right? Great handle. I've got my sloth on there. There is another Jill there, but it's just my hands. So this is how my Advent scarf is looking. You need your glasses. Hi, Maribel. Good to see you. This is the color I'm working on now. And I don't know that we'll get through it, but then this will go on next. So, okay. Has any of you, anybody in the audience, lurkers, I'm so glad you're here. Have you guys heard of the Lori Bambenek story before? That is our subject for today. Hey, Joyce. Okay, sounds good. So let me give you a brief little background on Lori. She was born August 15th, 1958 in Milwaukee. And she had a brother that was born, hey, Chels, I'm just starting. Welcome in. I hope you're all relaxed. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you. Hello, Colleen. Gumdrop Forever. Hello. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Come on in. August is a good month. She was born August 15th. She has two sisters, Melanie and Colette. They have been in a lot of the videos, well, a few of them anyway, uh, that were done about Lori. Shad, have you heard about this story? That's what I want to know, because Shad is a crime buff. So, did you see my necklace? I got to show Shad my necklace. That's what I got on this time. Got all my kids. Hi, Patricia. Hey, Beverly. How are you doing, Bev? Good to see you. So, Lori was born after her mother she had a brother that was born premature. And I'm sorry, guys, I got to get this where you can see me better, huh? There we go. Can't see my sign, though. Y'all see my crime tape, though? I'll try to fix it up for you. And so that her parents and her sisters tell everybody that Lori was a little bit spoiled because she was born after a premature baby, and that her parents spoiled her because they felt like they weren't sure that they were going to be able to have another one. So, looks awesome. Good deal. This is fun. I hope it sticks. If the phone doesn't behave, at least I know I will be here. Oh, thank you. Oh, good, Shad. This is a new one on you. Oh, Colleen, that's sweet. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So she her sisters, the interviews with her sisters said that Lori had emotional problems, that she was a good person, but they felt like she always had these like underlining emotional problems. She she was an average student in school. She did absolutely fine in school. However, um, she she played the flute, so she was in the band and she played the flute. Hey, look at there! Even my Nightbot's here. Nightbot is now in the house. Look at there. So just just like a regular person. So has anybody heard of this story at all? If nobody's heard, it's going to be all me talking, isn't it? Now, I don't know, Chelsea, I told Terry, I said it's his fault I'm doing this one, that this one's for him. And I hope he would correct me. I don't know that he's going to be lurking. He's probably not going to want to talk, and that's okay. Maybe you can correct me later. So here's what happened. She married a man named Fred Schultz. Okay, trying to think, when did they get married? They got married in 1981. So she was actually, they called her the pinup killer. But okay, but she honestly was not that. She worked as at the Playboy house, and so they thought she was a Playboy bunny, but she was never a Playboy bunny. She was actually She worked at the Playboy house, but she was never a centerfold or in the magazine or anything like that. But they called her the pin-up killer. She's very outgoing, very vocal. She also, was not afraid to have a good time, go out, have some drinks, dance, and, just have a good time, even dancing in the park. Hey, Lori, come on in. Yes, thank you for the thumbs. She was also very outgoing, not just personality-wise, but also with her body. So she would, show some skin. She'd go out dance and, midriff, everything, just whatever. She'd take her top off, just all kinds of stuff. And that gave her kind of reputation. And so she married him 3 months after she married Fred Schultz. She was accused of killing his wife, who lived just down the road from them. Hey, Deneen. Welcome to Crime Night. And the way that the ex, how weird is that to have the ex-wife living right down the road anyway? Y'all can pipe in with anything you want to say. You need to come up, baby? Come here. I think he was trying. Cerberus was going to come and get up under my feet. You going to come get up under there? Come on. You going to get up there? There you go. Now he's getting up here under my feet. So the manner in which the ex-wife died, she was tied up and shot. Now the children, there was at least one child in the house at the time, and I think there were 2 boys. I think they were in the house at the time, and the one young boy said that he thought the person was, at first he said that it was her, that he thought it was her. And then later on, they found out it wasn't what he said. There was a lot of controversy. There's always controversy in these big cases. I haven't had time to really look at that one. I haven't really had time to look at that one. Oh, I like the layout. This layout's better. Yes, hashtag a stitch in crime, y'all. Yes, thank you, Chelsea. So the wife was tied up with a hairband, and the boy said that it was somebody wearing a green jogging suit. It was a 38, which the husband had a 38. So they got married in February of 1981, and the wife was killed May 28th of 1981. The trial happened in February of 1982. So this was all within about a year. Absolutely. Anything you want to hear, any cases you guys want to talk about, let me know. I know this first one's going to be a trial and error. Ha ha. Now I still screwed up a Nightbot command. Look at there. Oh well. I went through and looked at those. So Lisa, you were born in February of 81, and let's see. And that's when they got married. They got married, and Fred her, and he committed suicide, y'all. He committed suicide in November of 1991. The husband did, and he stood up for her at the trial, but they say there was a lot of evidence that pointed towards the fact that he might have set her up. And I, just from my research and watching what was going on, it seemed like, yeah, it's that one. I don't know what, that it cannot call the same command as an alias. I know. It's weird the way that's worded. But the reason that of the controversy is because she actually was a cop. After she was the quote Playboy bunny pinup whatever kind of thing, then she was a cop. I know, trial and error. Oh, I thought that was good. I stuck that in there. Now, Web Sleuth, I haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time with her, but I'm a member of that one. Web Sleuth, I like her a lot, and she sits with a little sloth in her lap, so you know. But she's a great person. I really like her. But so she was a cop in 1990. Okay, after she was a pinup Playboy bunny. And while she was at the police department, she got herself in a little bit of trouble because she said, you know, and here she was being very forward with her body and, you know, all messing around, all that stuff. But she got harassed and she got a little bit of physical harassment and some other stuff. And so she said that, you know, she had filed some complaints against some people in the department, and she was saying there was some hanky panky stuff going on money wise and some stuff they were doing, and she knew it, and she threatened to come forward with all of that stuff. So they're thinking that it, you know, her lawyers were thinking that a lot of it had to do with some of the guys on the department, and that they framed him or her or both. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. Come on in. There was a place that all these cops went to, and it was called the Tracks Club. And the Tracks Club, they were, you know, there was, you know, sleeping around. A lot of the cops were sleeping around on their wives. There was, you know, um, stuff that never really could be proven, which was part of why nobody believed her. They didn't have a whole lot of, you know, it all got covered up. These were cops. So if there was anything going on, there wasn't a whole lot of evidence. So at the trial, they said that she took his gun, that she wore this green jogging suit, and she wore a wig, and that she went down there and she tied her up with her hairband, and she went into the boys' room and put her hand over his mouth, because he said somebody did that. Put her hand over his mouth and, didn't say anything, but was like, be quiet. And she went back in after that and shot the ex-wife and then left. And later on, I think it was in the apartment complex or something, that was, they found a hairband. They found a jogging suit that she had, a friend of hers said that she had a jogging suit that was like that. Silence who? Did I miss something? Oh, yeah, silencing him. But never said anything. Just, yeah, silence him. Yes. And they found a wig that was in the plumbing. Then they thought that it was hers. But you know what? Years later, you've got her lawyers trying to look into everything. Yeah, that's it. See, they claimed that it was, but they had, this was, I can't remember when DNA started, to be honest with you. I'll get back with you on that. Chelsea, if you'll write that down for me. But I don't know that this was after DNA, but they're saying they didn't, that the there was a lady who was an independent, came forward. She was a coroner, and she said she didn't find any hair on that hairband. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? I know, right? I don't know. I couldn't tell you what the hairband looked like. I didn't find anything like that. I don't think it was like, like a stretchy thing. I don't think that's what they mean. I think it may have been like a hair, like you tie your hair up with something, that kind of thing. But there was the coroner, where it was her, I think I had her name here somewhere. I'm thinking it was Ira Robbins, and she worked on the case for 20 years, because I was trying to find some more information about her and did not. Oh, good. Good deal, Cheryl. Hey, what are y'all drinking? I got 2 cups going as usual. I've got Gatorade. And then we got coffee. And I've already got this is the coaster for spring. My spring coaster. I figured since spring, Valentine's is right in there. Working on your crochet crowd, Cal. Cool. So I'm going to be changing out my coasters with the seasons. Sweet tea. I bet it's sweet tea, Chelsea. Oh, and I'm wearing, this is the shawl that you see in my pictures. It's on my intro in my picture. This is a lacy knit. I can't even remember the name of this one now, but I used the honeybee knits. She's not dyeing yarn anymore, and but these were minis that I got from her. Working on socks. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Hi, Denise. Thank you. Oh, amigurumi mouse. That sounds cute. Two left-hand mittens. Oh my gosh, how funny. You just went crazy and did two right-handed, so now you got a two left-handed. Oh gosh, that's funny. Hey, I started that, y'all. I started that. Let me grab it. Hold on. In her picture, in Jeannie's picture is the whatchamacallit. That's what's in her deal right there, y'all. That's a whatchamacallit. And that is a make along that is being done on Carry the Yarny Elephant on her channel. It's called the Whatchamacallit by Vanessa Smith. And I started, I haven't had time. Been working on my website too. But here's the center of it. So I did start. I gotta start. And this one is the Sunny color Sunny. It is one of the new ombres, Super Saver ombre. You'll have to wait to see what the rest of the colors are. That's all I got done so far. But yeah, that's what's that. She told me that's what the picture was. And Lori is getting some caffeine-free herbal tea. Oh, I'm so glad that's over then. Maybe you're feeling better, Lori? Hey, Debbie. Good to see you. Making brownies. That sounds good. Diet Pepsi Granny Square shawl with yarn from the Little Favorites by Ray in Germany. Huh. Green grass. Oh, so you're doing kind of a spring project too. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Maybe. Uh-oh, I dropped stitches, y'all. Can you see them? Got it. Yoda hat. Ah, that's nice, Lori. That's nice. I hope she gets a good report. It's never fun, but it's very stressful. I dropped them again. I need to put my finger on those. Heck, burn it. Chelsea's going to start another washcloth. Shad's working on another Ross hat. Hey, Rosie. Rosie's making a baby blanket and drinking Diet Coke. Good to see you. Okay. So let me go back. I'm going to give you the timeline again. So some of the things that I watched for this were, let's just say there were movies made about this. Hi, Delphine. Cheryl's working on a Spider-Man hat. Ooh. Yeah, all that drainage, huh, Lori? Well, at least the pressure is going down. So there were movies made about this. There was The Used Innocence, Woman on Trial, Calendar Girl Cop Killer, Run Bambi Run is probably the most famous one. Run Bambi Run, which I haven't been able to find so I could watch. I really would like to see something about that. So she was a cop in 1980. She married Fred Schultz 1981. The ex-wife was killed in May of 1981. February of 1982 was the trial, and she was convicted. And in 1990 was her prison escape. She escaped from prison in Milwaukee. I think she was in Milwaukee. Excuse me. And the man that helped her escape's name was, now, you know how it's going to be with names, Dominic Guglielmo. And they went to Canada together. And from what I understand, she escaped through like a small window in a, like, it wasn't in her cell, it was somewhere else, and he stood below that window, and she was small enough to get through the window, and they, yes, yeah, escaped. Oh yeah, I know. She was very forward. She probably was just like, yeah, I'm, well, she said in her interview that I watched, she said that she just decided that she's just going to go and enjoy, life a little bit. He came in and he was visiting his sister, I believe, and they hit it off. And he said he started writing to her and all that and calling her. And I think they had conjugal visits. They got married. And then off they went. And then they got caught in Canada, and they brought her back. In 1992, she pled no contest to the charges against her because she was pleading not guilty and she was convicted. Well, she pleaded no contest, which gave her, hey Terry, yay, you're welcome. Awesome. So glad you're here. So she pled no contest, and she got her sentence reduced to 20 years. Now the no contest was not really saying she was guilty, but it wasn't saying she was innocent either. And with that, they gave her a sentence and reduced it, and she was actually able to get out and be out, but her life was like weird and there was so much stuff going on around the story and everything that she didn't really have. She was free, but she still had the sentence. She couldn't work. And she wound up getting very, very sick. And she died in 2010 in hospice. She had liver failure and kidney failure due to hepatitis C. See, I don't know why Nightbot's doing that. I checked that one because of last time. I hope I got it all right, Terry. If you're just joining in, you don't know what I've said yet, but I've been talking for a while. So, some alternate theories for what happened. So her husband Fred had a friend, and he was someone who went to the Tracks nightclub. And no. Her husband didn't commit suicide. Am I right? It wasn't the husband, it was Fred that committed suicide in 91, but Fred's name was Horenberger. And he was a big guy. And an associate of his named Tom Eckert testified that Fred used army clothes and wigs. Just ignore Nightbot's having a fight with himself. So the husband, so there were two Freds. That's why I was confused. There was a husband Fred, and then there was the Fred Hornberger that they think might have been the guy who did it. So the husband was a cop. He was involved in all this bad stuff at the Tracks nightclub. He threatened her. This was after she went to jail. He threatened her. He sent her a farewell in jail. He went on Geraldo with her lawyer. And he had this friend, Fred, that was a drug dealer, did armed robberies, all kinds of stuff. So the husband was not totally innocent. However, Lori's friend, Judy's boyfriend committed suicide. And Lori's ID was found in his pocket. Wow. That's interesting. See, these are some things that I did not find. Hi, Hope. So is the boyfriend, is that Fred Horenberger then? That was the boyfriend, because it says he committed suicide in 1991. I bet that was his name. And related to her taking the no contest plea, there was what they called a Doe investigation, which was done in the background like going along with all the other stuff that was being done. Yeah, Nightbot, it's just having trouble. So actually, what I saw the other day was the Wisconsin, I cannot remember the name of it, but it's a Wisconsin. It comes up when you do a search for her, and it's the paper there, and they are collecting any and every kind of information because they're going to do a new story on this. I don't know if you saw that, Terry, but they're going to do a new story on it. Yeah, the son actually testified that after later, because he was little, and they had that interview, but they said that the interview was a little leading, and when they went back when he was like teenager and asked him, he said no, this was a big man. It's a big man, and the 38, which was the husband Fred even testified that it hadn't been fired. Yeah, so you might check that because they're asking for anybody that has information on it. There's her sisters and some other people, the coroner that I was talking about, the lady, this Ira Robbins that worked on it for 20 years, they started some sort of a deal where they wanted to try to clear her name. They tried to do it before she died, but they didn't make it, so they're still trying. Frederick Hornberger was the boyfriend to Judy Zess. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and see, Judy, that's another thing. So Judy, they went back and they interviewed her later, and she's the one that testified and said that Bambi had a green jogging suit. But every time that the media interviewed her, she had like 3 different stories. She'd tell one way, then she'd tell it another way. And she was a little sketchy, that Judy was. She also said that Judy said that she wanted the wife dead, the ex-wife dead. And she retracted that. But that's part of what got her convicted. So yes, there is a movement or a group of people or whatever you want to call it that are still trying to get her name cleared after all these years. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Just reading my notes, guys. Oh, also, the coroner said that the size of the wound in the wife's back, and she was shot in the back, but the size of the wound was not consistent with the 38. Mm-hmm. But they really want to clear her name. And I'm trying to think. I watched. Let me look real quick. I may miss your comments, but I'm going to look real quick at. See if I can find where. Yeah, still got my search in here. So it was called Lori Bambenek on Prime Time, and it was from April 16th, 1962. This is what Terry recommended, and I did get most of my information from that. I don't know if I can. And this is YouTube. Maybe you guys could get it from there. Well, I don't remember if the wound was bigger or smaller. Because a shotgun, it would have been bigger, right, than a 38. Y'all can see, y'all, here's my notes, y'all. I did some research. So I want you to know that we're going to do these every other week, because on the in-between, that I'm going to be doing some research on it. The investigation, which helped to get her released, found mistakes in the original investigation. I think I've covered everything that I've got in my notes. Oh, the thing that got them caught when they went to Canada was because the case went on America's Most Wanted, and somebody saw that episode and called it in and said that they had seen them. Hey, Susan. That's what I was thinking. Because it seems like they said that the 38 was just a touch too small. So a 45 would probably be more likely, I would think. Turning my heater down a little bit. It's right there. Where it happened in Milwaukee, it was kind of on a, like, outskirts of town, like in an area where they had some, because she had, in order to do this, she would have had to jog 2 miles to go and do it. It was down the road from them, but they were kind of off, like, it's like on the outskirts of town. And she would have had to jog 2 miles to get there before she even did anything. If that was your question, Jeannie. Are we having fun yet? I really think that it would be interesting if they did get her cleared and they finally solved it. I'm kind of wondering if Fred Schultz is still alive, because I'm not sure if he is actually. But is that a new one? What's Murderpedia? I'll have to look that one up. Murderpedia. You have to send me that link, Chel, so I can look that up later. So I already know what the next one's going to be about. And I don't really have to do a ton of, I'm just going to have to refresh myself. I won't have to do a whole ton of research on it. But just recently, in Wichita Falls, which is not far from, that's where I go to the chiropractor and stuff, there was a hearing. Chelsea sent me something on it for a guy who was convicted of murders there in the 80s. Again with the 80s. Set a larger bullet hole. Okay. And that's what I thought I remember them saying, was that that bullet hole was not consistent and that it was larger than what a 38 would have been. Yeah. In the country. Yeah, exactly. Like if somebody, but I think this was his, they wanted to say it was his 38 because it would have been convenient for it to be his 38. She could have just grabbed his. Um, but that is something that happened, and I was very, very close to it. Let me put it that way. And so I want to talk about that one on the next. Bad hairstyles and murders are related. Big hair and big crime. That could be another one. I know. I'm trying to remember if I saw an interview or if it was just them talking about it. I feel like it was just them talking about the interviews and how different the two interviews were. I'm thinking they may have shown him like sitting testifying, but that they didn't, there wasn't, that he didn't, they didn't show any of footage of him talking. I'm kind of thinking that's what it was. Hey Kay, how you doing? Okay, cool. Well, you've already scanned it. Look at you. Oh, yeah, this was not, let's see, 1958. She would have been like 6 years older than me now. I'm good. I'm doing so much better than I was. Yeah, there were several clips. You can find several clips of her doing interviews with different media outlets, and um, it's hard not to like her. I can say that, even sitting in jail and all those things. She's a very uh, put together. Her speech and the way she talks, all that, it was very put together. She was very articulate. Um, she was very believable. She didn't look like she was bullshitting at all. So I don't, you know, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he refuses to do interviews. You know, like I said, his testimony was part of what put her away. And like I said, is Fred still alive? Is the husband still alive? Because the one, Fred, they said is gone. But now I don't know if the husband is still alive. I didn't see that anywhere. It's very interesting. Okay, so I think you're asking me, is, do I think that she did it? No. I don't think she did it. So, see, that makes sense why that's why they're not talking. And I wonder, because it's one of those kind of things that you wonder if and when something happens to the dad, if the son will come forward. Because it's been so long. Certainly he couldn't be tried for anything, with withholding information or any of that kind of stuff, and she's dead anyway. So the motive, from what I understand, motive wise, was that something to do with money. That she felt like the wife was about alimony. Okay. That Lori was mad about him having to pay alimony, but he had plenty of money and she had money. I mean, there was no reason, they weren't hurting in any way for money. That to me, when she said that, was like, yeah, that's one of the things you just can't get out of. you know and they're saying, well, the one way to get out of it was to kill her. uh, I'm just not seeing that happen. I'm really not. um Chandler case. I don't have a whole lot of information on the Chandler case. Shad, which one is that? I think she's just shady. I bet they wouldn't have told her, but I will bet, my thought is that she has her own twisted belief of what happened, and like, she don't know, so she's just going to follow everybody else's, uh, what they're telling her happened, because she's just that shady. Yeah. Yeah, Fred complained about having to pay it. So, but even at that, guys don't like it. They just don't like it. And I mean, I don't know. They don't like to part with their money, okay? They go into guy mode. Sorry. But whenever stuff happens, like divorces and all that kind of stuff, they go into like guy mode, and it's like, it's mine. Nobody else can have it. It's mine. I work for it. It's mine. It's guy mode. And so they're going to complain if they have to part with any of it. That doesn't mean they're going to get mad and commit murder. I really think that it had to do with all these guys, and she had shit on all these guys that he worked with, and she was still living with, married to him. So it's not like she got away from it. That's my theory. The Chandler Halderson case, I will have to look that one up. Um, I don't think Duty Ron hasn't talked about it that I know of. Wow. Well, I got a whole bunch of stuff on that search. Okay. See, anybody who's been through a divorce can tell you the guys, they don't like to pay child support. They don't like to give, that's my ex. I'm done with that. And I don't want to, I don't want to give her any money. Yes. And it wasn't very long after that because remember the timeline. Okay. She was a cop in 1980. Like I said, this is all kind of like within a year. Her and him got married in 81, February of 81, and then the wife was dead in May of 81. So, yeah, she was part of a discrimination lawsuit against the police department, and Fred was a detective at the time, her husband. Now, they were married at that time. They got married after. And see, that to me could be why the kids don't want to go against the dad because they're in their minds they're thinking, well, why would he have married her? Right. Yeah. It was in his best interest to make that gossip go away. So he was looking at career. There you go. It's just that simple, right, Patricia? Listen, you guys, I was the other on the other end. Yeah, and I'll bet you. See, and to me, if you look at it this way, where he and his friend go to the house and they pick up his 38 and they said it had never been fired. Well, he certainly doesn't want if he's helping them to plan this, he certainly doesn't want his gun to be involved. Oh, yeah, it takes a lifetime, but the kids, they last a lifetime, and you have to do what you have to do, right? Yep. The death of the ex-wife saved his job and his money. And then, you know, you just get rid of the new one. And maybe he did care about her when he first married her, and then he realized, you know, maybe she was maybe he would say something and she would say things like, "Well, I'm not going anywhere with that asshole," because they were involved in all that other stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? People say stuff and they get on each other's nerves, and it could be that they came to him and said, they both need to go away. We're never going to get out of this. New stuff is coming up, and we got to get out of this somehow. And he went along with it. Doesn't mean he did anything, but I think he went along with it. Man, I tell you, divorce court and family court, that that's a whole nother animal altogether. But that is my impression, because Terry was asking me what I thought. And that is what I thought. I felt like the husband went along with it. I feel like the department covered it up. It's easy to do once somebody is convicted and in jail. It's easy to say, well, that's done. That's closed. We're over it. It's gone. It's done. There's no reason to talk about it anymore. It's just a done deal. And here we are years later. Oh, is my phone is it acting up? Looks like it's acting up. No, it's all right. I'm really surprised my phone has held on this long. Now the phone is on cellular, and then I'm on internet here. There's always that possibility. I'm not seeing it though. Sure. And time. I can't tell you how many I have watched that in the end there's been a lot of cases solved. There's a lot of unsolved stuff out there. But there's a big push these days to solve things that are unsolved. And there's been so many of them that have actually, years and years later, you're talking 30, 40 years later, and they solve it. A lot of times it was DNA. It's always amazing to me that before DNA, and we'll talk about that with this other one. But people got away with a lot of stuff. DNA stopped a lot of it put a wedge in a lot of things. And now they're doing mitochondrial, they're doing familial links and all kinds of things, and they've got this like endless pool of how many people are connected. Yeah. See, she was good for, 3 months. Just saying. Okay. That sounds about right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there was nothing on it. They found nothing on that hairband, and they don't have the hairband anymore. Somehow it got legs and walked off. Oh yeah, but I like the stuff that they do where they solve it by using their brain and the forensics. The gumshoe guy that puts two and two together and says, okay, you got this evidence, but this doesn't show that. you know yeah, I really think that her and him got married because it was convenient. They worked together, they went to bed together, and they said, let's move in together. And the next, it just all kind of happened. And then I think that something happened within the department and some more evidence came out. Well, now we've got a mess. But my mind kind of goes on logic when I'm talking, when I'm thinking about the way this stuff is, like logic and how people interact with each other and stuff. Yeah, yeah. So the hairband is gone. Um, was thinking that the wig was gone also. See that wig? The wig was actually found where the guy who committed the Fred guy that committed suicide. That wig was actually found in that plumbing. Is anybody actually knitting? I know Wendy said she was working on socks. And I weigh this periodically. I will weigh this to see how much I have used, because these are a 20-gram. 14. So I've only used about a fourth of it. Patricia's knitting a blanket. Colleen is crocheting. It's they're saying it's a closed case. It's not a cold case. It's not a unsolved. They're calling it closed. The minute they put her in jail, they called it closed. And then after they went back and someone was able to get another investigation into it, and they call that a John Doe investigation. That's the first time I've heard of that. So I also need to figure out what that means. In other words, it's the name makes it sound like somebody who didn't want to release who was actually doing the investigating, so they said John Doe. I see y'all are working. Oh, get too tied up in the story. A circle vest. I've always wanted to make one of those. I haven't done that yet. Closed because so many of them have their hands in it. They don't want to open it. Well, right. Hey, Diamond Girl. I didn't see you. Oh, there you are. Yay. Good to see you. See, that's another part of it. I missed that one. The PD had so much to lose, police department, if the lawsuit went forward. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to have an outside. You know, it seems like I remember them mentioning that, and I can't. I'm not sure. Oh, thank you. Had to restart it. Oh, but yeah, it is a complex case, but it's also in a lot of ways, it seemed like there was like a time frame where these cases happened with these departments that they say, that there was something going on in a police department. And I don't know if it was like 70s, 80s. Just seems like a lot of them fall into that time frame. It was also, if you think about it, before departments talked to each other, we didn't have computers that helped tie everybody together. You didn't have that's another one to look up, and that is when what is the network where they put everybody's name in CODIS, when CODIS came out. Because they had a network of sorts, but it wasn't tied together. They had something before that each department had, and that department could put it into it locally and look up people's names and things like that. But yeah, there was a lot of drugs back then, and a lot of apartments were dirty because of the drugs. A lot of them were. And if you looked at something that could have been, those guys that were going to that Trax club, there could have been drugs going in and out of there, and they were all involved in that. They said that Fred Hornberger was in big time into drugs. That's true. Okay, you guys got to do something about that one, and then I can hide it. Are you my only one, Chelsea? Yeah, women were still not really getting the best jobs back then. When somebody reports that, then I will get rid of it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I go for so long and don't have any of those. And then I had some on Sunday and then today. Does anybody have, okay, Shad wants me to do the Chandler Halderson case. They're saying there was a verdict. First-degree homicide. Guilty of false information, guilty of mutilating a corpse, and guilty of hiding a corpse. That's what he got. First-degree homicide. I know, I'm moving on up, getting all those coming in. Thank you, Chels. I got a new band for my... Okay, I'm over here. Why to hold it in front of there? Got a new band, and I also got a new face. Well, this last couple of years with the pandemic has, the stuff that's happening against the kids now again. Ugh, that sucks. It just sucks. Kids and women are gonna get it again because having to stay inside, and the domestic violence it's just gonna run rampant again. I know, The Making of a Murderer. Gosh, I can watch that over and over again. I just get really involved, and that's another one where they accused the police department of all kinds of stuff. And I really want to believe Stephen Avery. I really do. I, I really want to believe him. It's just crazy. Ooh, your brownies are almost done. Okay, so I'm going to write down. Why do I not have a spare? I thought I put an extra one in here, but I don't guess I did. In my planner. I thought I put an extra note paper in here. I don't see any. Well, I know where I can find some. Hey, Sharon. Yep, it's Jill squared. No, you didn't miss it. This is my big planner full of note paper, and that's just all that would go in it. Lister's gonna list. There's one. What are you working on, Susan? Are you into true crime? Aw, that is so good. What is she? Did you say she was one of your comments that you got her doing some crochet, right? So y'all just stay tuned, because guess what? There may be some more of these coming as giveaways for the podcast. Just saying. Of course, this one is mine. It comes with the bullet hole there. I don't even know if that was a mistake or on purpose, but I loved it. It looked like a bullet hole to me. Yeah, it's hard. She gets frustrated. So Chandler, he shot his mom and dad, then dismembered and put their heads in fireplace and dumped parts of their bodies around. And where was this, Shad? Because I don't know. I don't remember where that happened. Yes, yeah. But Amber, who made this for me, is not going out of the country like she thought she was. So now I am going to message her, and that's exactly what I want to do. Really? They're coming. I will let you guys know. Yes, I've got to see if I can get the ID channel. It's just, I hate to add another one on. Okay, what was I going to write down? Stephen Avery. Making a murderer. And then Chandler Halderson. Oh my gosh. Y'all got that one? Yeah, okay, so it was in July, but where? I don't remember where the case. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's crazy. Did y'all get that one? Okay. I did. Now, the first one that we're going to it was actually a book. A code word? Whistle. That's what we use on Jan's. Whistle. What would mine be if I had one? Sloth. That's a little too common on this channel. Can't use that. But thanks. Thanks for reporting, Lori. Whistle? Okay. But the one we're going to talk about first before these is the one about Farron Waldrop. In Wichita Falls. And the book that was written on it is called, if you want to look it up, is called Scream at the Sky. Again with the 80s too. Oh, we're going to have fun, aren't we? Let's see. What sound? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, I went on to the actual YouTube page. Hey, Laura, how are you? Some ghost stories? Wow. Are you talking about like Los Angeles or Louisiana? Because I wasn't sure what you meant, Patricia. I saw that, but wasn't sure. I know, vampire stories. So what channels do you guys listen to? I watch things on Hulu and I watch things on Prime. Oh, that's right. Okay, so Los Angeles is what she meant. No, I haven't seen what's going on over there. Laura, how are you doing? I guess you got better because you were really, really sick the other day, and I was kind of worried after that you weren't going to get to the doctor and get better. Yeah, what's going on in Los Angeles? Because I don't know. Yeah, and Pluto. Yes. Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, Pluto, and podcasts. That's another one. Y'all, we could have a whole discussion on audio podcasts because I've got several. I listen to those mostly. And one of the ones that, oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'll have to look that up. But this one, Small Town Murder, is a podcast, audio podcast, and they have Small Town Murders, and then they have um, what is sports crime, and then they have a Patreon, and yes, I listen to them too. Yes, I watched some of that. Yeah, I watched a documentary on that. I think it was. Oh, I want to say that one was on Netflix. Well, I'm just glad you're here and you're feeling better, Laura. So February 11th, Inventing Anna. Oh, that's sad. Slapped ham. Mm-mm. Yep, they are. Some gangs just shot a 17-year-old playing basketball. Well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of that stuff goes on in LA. Unfortunately, there's a lot of LA that's. Oh, sorry, you guys. I'll drink more coffee. There we go. Maybe that'll help. But I do think that it has a lot to do with what's going on now. Yeah. Is that on YouTube? That slapped ham? Yeah, the small town murder guys, they make fun of the murderer, not the victims. So yeah, that was going on back in those days. Gee, Lori, you got a dangerous neighborhood there. Oh no. Ooh, I'm surprised. I watched Duty Ron, and I'm surprised he hasn't spoken of that because he is in the New York area. Oh wow. So the story that I am going to talk about next time is what started it all, I think. Although I want to say the first true crime book that I read was the one, her name was Anne, she wrote a whole bunch of them. Anne, oh, I can't think of her last name. Yeah, yeah, the spooky things. You watch the spooky things with your sweetie. No, not Anne Rice. I could get into her. My Carrie watches her, but I couldn't get into her for some reason. I don't know. Yes, yes, that's it, Gabby. Anne Rule. I read several of her books. She did um, the mom who drowned her children in her car. She did that one. I read that book. That was with all the background and stuff, and that's what got me started with thinking about, you know, how they solve things, how they figure stuff out. That to me is what's so interesting is the forensics. And then I watch forensic files. I watch them over and over again. And I love hearing how they could come up with new stuff and new ways to do stuff. See, I just don't get into America's Most Wanted. I really, he's an okay guy. Don't get me wrong. I know, that was a bad thing that happened with his family and all of that stuff, but I just, yep, it is everywhere. Yeah, I just love the forensic stuff. But the case that this case I'm talking about, that really, I think it really sparked my interest the most in all of it. I do too, Diamond Girl. That's what I listen to go to sleep. The guy from Case File. I don't know. There's something about his voice. I can listen to I listen to one case, and then those cases just play all night. It just puts me right out. Can you imagine? Dr. G. I don't know who Dr. G is. The girl the dragon killed? I don't know that one. But I listened to Case File. I listened to the one that's really good, I think, is Sword and Scale. It's the only one that I do their Plus membership for. See, I saw that. I don't know why. There's something about her voice, Shad, I think. Excuse me, sir. Oh, Dr. G. Where is that on ID, or where is that at? I have to look at that one. I'm sorry, Lisa. I don't know that I really care for Joe that much. I don't know. And he's a Texas guy, but oh, the Grand Dragon. That makes more sense now that you put the two together. I just didn't get it. Oh my goodness. Okay, that makes more sense. Oh, so it's on Prime? Okay. I was writing that down. Yeah, I like the Cold Case Files. I listened to Cold Case Files. I listened to Dateline. Those are both podcasts, and they play the shows. And I really couldn't believe it. Oh, on Peacock. Okay. I couldn't believe that I didn't actually have to see the program to follow along because they're just playing that, the old episodes or episodes that have already been on. So some of them were newer, but they've already been on TV. Yeah, Marcia Clark, man, I'll tell you what. I followed, here we go back to it again. This is still after the other one I was talking about, but y'all, how many of you watched that trial? The OJ trial? I would like to say that is probably the first trial that I ever watched, and that was the whole court TV era. Yeah, Dateline. Okay, I may know about that one. I thought that one was one of the son. I may have them confused. Oh my gosh. That sounds interesting. Well, of course he was guilty. Of course. But that was the first one that I was glued. I want to say, time frame wise, I can't remember if I was pregnant with Chelsea or pregnant with Carrie Ann. Not really sure. Was OJ 90s? That would be the chase and then the trial. We all watched that chase and it was like something we had never seen before. Look at that. They're following him. Why it was so interesting, I don't know. Nowadays, we're like, man, another chase, right? But man, that OJ chase, it was OJ. Hey, don't forget the Bobbits. And I used to live, Shad. I know. I'm not sure if it is either. So, Shad, I used to live in Fallon, Nevada. And that is where John Wayne Bobbitt went to live after all that happened. And he dealt at the casino. Okay, so that would have been I was pregnant with Carrie. I knew it was one of them. I couldn't remember which one. Yeah, see, I remember hearing about that. I just have them mixed up, I think. I know. I know. How did that work out that way? Poor guy. Yeah, that one. I've watched a bunch of stuff on that one too. Hello, Sandrine. I know. I still wonder what the heck. And hello, Crafty Farm Gal, talking about the 80s. There's another girl that likes the 80s. I know. Rhode Island. Michael Woodmansey. Let me write that down. Michael. I don't know anything about that one. And the last few nights I have been, well, let's just put it this way, the last couple of months. Um, Son of Sam. Wow. Yes, that's what I thought. Son of Sam. Y'all tested me. Y'all tested me now. I'm going to tell you though, you need a really strong, you can't get too freaked out too easy if you listen to Sword and Scale. Just saying. Because his line is the worst monsters are real. I know, back in those days when people didn't go anywhere by themselves. That has a lot to do with some of the stuff that happened. It's because, I don't know. Um, there was a lot more, even with the kids. I'm thinking about the kids because, kids we played out until it got dark, but we had to be home at dark, when the street lights came on, had to be home. But no, I don't think we really went too many places by ourselves. But, we didn't feel threatened. Not like now. Now it's like, oh. Things have changed for sure. But I have taken some notes here, you guys. Chelsea will let me know if I miss anything. So you mean to like walk around or? Yeah, that's some scary stuff, them and technology too. Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, I know it. And they haven't found, it's like the ones in I'm from Bakersfield, and those two little boys that are missing. Scary. I think. I hate to think that those parents had something to do with it, but it's really weird. It's just really weird. It is a crazy world. And I don't know why I can't get enough of it. Now, I had a weird dream this morning. I don't usually have, if just so you guys know, I don't usually have crazy dreams or anything like that just because I listen to all this stuff, and everything. Really does. I have some weird ones every now and then. But this morning, I had gone somewhere. I was going to get a massage. Anyway, and I get on the table and this gal that comes in and she looks kind of off, and then I find out that this is the person who's going to do my massage, and then she goes and she does some things and she's getting set up, and then she comes back and she's got a wig on. In my brain, why we do that, I don't know. I thought she looked better in the wig, I guess. And then somebody comes in, all of a sudden there's like three guys, police officers. They come, they strap her to a chair and they're hauling her off. And I'm thinking, I guess I'm going to get my massage. And I woke up. And the summer one. Yeah, that's another one that's big right now. Sure. Yeah. Summer Wells. I think that's right. Summer Wells. There's a lot of those. Right. So when I was little, I walked home from school. My key was around my neck. I walked home from school. I let myself in. I had 2 or 3 snacks I was allowed to have. and I would get my snack, and I'd lock the door. I'd get my snack. I'd sit down and I'd watch TV until my sister got home. When my sister got home, then I was allowed to go out and play. But I wasn't allowed to go out and play until she got home. And I called my mom when I got home. Yeah, really? What was I drinking, huh? I know. Oh gosh. Yeah, I sometimes I just have these like, and the strapping down thing, it was probably because I've been watching Night Watch from New Orleans, and they're always having these people that get on, and they're not, they're combative, and they have to strap them to the stretcher because they can't work on them until they get them calmed down. That's probably what my dream was, if I had to guess. We are almost at 2 hours, you guys. I know some of you probably are ready to go, right? This was fun. I think we had about 30 people here most of the time. Terry, I'm so glad you got to come. It was so good. And this was a great one. This was a great one to do, and I'm really glad you suggested it. I had fun looking it up. Yeah, those innocent days, huh? Oh gosh. Oh man. Mm. Oh. No, you're not ready to go, Shad? Is that what that means? No, don't go. Thank you, Jeannie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, you did? Yeah. It just looks like it would be so interesting to do that. Well, I'm glad you found me, Nancy. I'm glad you liked it. Mm. Well, I am sure that your how you feel about it weighs has some weight on that. Oh, you're welcome. You don't talk too much, you Gabby one. Yeah, the age of innocence. Yeah, see, that was the thing because I know that I have other people that talk about it whenever I am in lives and stuff like that, but they're like, well, nobody really wants to just talk about this. Well, I do. I do. Oh, it's a new one. Okay. Well, the next one is going to be about Farron Waldrop from Wichita Falls, and the book, the book that is out that I think is the most accurate is called Scream at the Sky. I used to have a copy, but I don't anymore, and it is something personal to me. So, oh, thank you, Sharon. Yep, thank you. Absolutely. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Oh, that was another thing I was going to say. If there's something I just because it was the first one, I want to do something mindless. If there is something that you guys want to do, for instance, I kind of thought this would be a good place for us to start the knit blanket. So let me, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Does anybody know about Mr. Fiber's blanket? Yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm coming back. Don't worry. Hi, Bub. This is Mr. Fiber's blanket. And it's a scrap blanket. So what I really thought we would do is we could make blanket during this podcast. So if you guys would like to do that, wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't you like to make a scrap blanket? I think it would be a great thing that we could do. So next time that we do that, I will tell you all about what you need. But you will need for our scrap blanket, I use either 10 or 10 and a half needles. Okay. And then you're going, when you first start, you're going to want at least a 32-inch cord. Okay. So this will be on a circular. Olalla, Washington. An asylum in Olalla. I think I've heard about that on one of the podcasts that I listened to. I'll write that down. Olalla, Washington asylum. So 32, but you probably, it has to be at least a 32. It can be up to like a 40, but you get it too long and once it gets heavy like that, it slips back and forth and it's really kind of hard to manage on a really long one. Yes, please. Hashtag a stitch in crime. And your scraps. And that's really all you need. Either 10 or 10 and a half and a 32 to 40-inch cord. And your scraps. Hey, Denny Benetti. What are doing? Oh, good. And I will show you how to do now, I usually do the long tail cast on. Yes, absolutely. You can make a scrap. You can crochet a scrap blanket. Absolutely, you could. Absolutely. And if you want to post in my Facebook group, just use the hashtag. We won't start a new page or anything like that for it right now. We'll just do the hashtag and you can put your blankets there. You can also email them to me. It's okay. But that's all you need. And I'll show you how to start it and everything. Hello, Nicole. How are you? Good to see ya. Who said, oh, not starting one yet? Oh, okay. You don't have enough scraps? We don't have to use scraps. You can use whatever you want. It looks really cool in a scrap blanket, but you can use whatever you want. The fun thing about that is, you know what? You can use all yarn. Not, in other words, you don't have to do it in all the same weight. It doesn't have to all be number 3 or all number 4. It can just be whatever. Yes. It will be, okay, the next one will be February the, oh shoot. Is that the 11th? No. The 3rd. Is it the 3rd? The 4th. Okay, thank you, Chels. Yeah, that I was looking at Thursday, not Friday. So the next one will be February the 4th. Cool. But we're gonna we'll find a name for it. It can be a scrap blanket, or it could be the Stitch in Crime blanket. So then it, you know, if you're not doing scrap, it'll fit with that too. It has a little bit of a Navajo in some areas because I used some older yarns that I wanted to get rid of. Yeah. Scrap in Crime. I like that. That's good too. I had another one we were going to do, and that did not pan out. But I think this would be a good place to put that. A lot of things have changed in my life in the last couple of months. 7 p.m. Central. Yes. You want to see it again, Denny? I can show it to you again. Hold on. Ooh, I'm getting hot for some reason. Gotta take that off. Oh. It's this one. But I'm going to start it. I will be working on this one. I will show you how to start one, but I will be working on this one with you guys until I finish it. And then once it's finished, then I will continue with another one. You don't have to make yours as big as mine either. Okay, that's fine. That's okay, Denny. It's the Mr. Fiber blanket. You've seen it for a couple of years now. I'm so close to finishing it. But yeah, I'm using mine is a size 10. And my cord, see, my cord's really long. And it just gets so heavy in the center. I'm gonna close this one up. There. But it gets really heavy here in the center, and I sometimes wish that this was not as long. But I haven't taken the time to put it on a smaller cord. So I know you have, because I was working on this when I started my channel. Okay, it's 3 years. And what it is, oh my goodness, what time does Melissa come on? But when I finish a project and I have some left over, I put it in the blanket. And there's a lot of projects that I have completed in Mr. Fiber's blanket, because that was his idea. Put them all in the blanket when you finish. Absolutely. And if you don't have it, it's not a big deal, because we're going to, so just so you know, yeah, 3 years on that one. So it's a long-term project. You're not going to get tardy or anything like that if you don't have the stuff. What do you have, Denny? Do you have anything long? You know, sometimes I put them in right in the middle, but I don't knot them. I just leave a tail when I come to the end of a scrap. I just leave that tail there and just start my new one. So if I'm in the middle of the row, I'm in the middle of the row. Then I go back later and I put the ends in. Yeah, it is. 5 or 6 Pacific. 5 or 6 Pacific. Is that 8? I don't know. I actually have that written down somewhere too. I have the times written down somewhere. What is Pacific? It'd be 5 o'clock your time is when she comes on. I don't know. I think. Yeah, you need a longer cord, Danny. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for joining me. And like I said, you know, send me feedback. You can send me emails, you know, post something. I wouldn't post like murder, crime stuff in the Facebook group. Just we'll start posting our projects there, and we'll just use the hashtag. So I appreciate that, Laura, and please do start to feel better, okay? So thank you again, you guys. Chelsea, thank you so much for helping out. Terry, it was so good of you to be here. And all of you, I appreciate you making this first one go so well. So y'all have fun today. Keep watching that crime, and we'll see you on the next one. Yep, hit your thumbs. Okay. See you later.